That must be a very frustrating sort of loss, given you tired, for such a long time.
Well, interesting enough, I thought after half time all the indicators went their way. So we didn't capitalise mid to late first and certainly through the second.
Is there an area where you thought it slipped away?
Well, was that when no one was in charge? I mean, the scoreboard might have said we were in front, but we weren't in charge because we allowed too many times for them to take the ball away. We never really we didn't put them away in the second quarter. 5 goals, one sounds good, but I don't know how many shots, how many inside entrances we had, but I would say there'd be a fair few. Inside 50s, get that. Well, it's not. It's 13, but they're all. But a lot of them were there to be scored on, and we didn't do it. So you got to put sides away. You can't. The longer the game goes, it's a moving target. This game these days because you've got quality sides that can go bang like that and kick 3 or 4 goals, or hold you from 3 or 4. So it becomes a double whammy effect. We're playing one of the better sides in the competition.
What was your line of thinking in starting Chris Yarran and stuff?
Well, our balance. We needed a different balance. You can't just force feed everyone playing forward. You've got to get balance.
Honestly, that will mean roughly playing through the last quarter. We had a good fight for the boys now.
The fight, I didn't think we didn't toss it in. It's just that we were caught out with players playing off their players, starting to be a bit tired. Didn't run as hard. We allowed them to get through the corridor a bit. Key players got back involved. We controlled most of the key players, but just when we needed to keep controlling them, and that's a sign of a good side and a good player. You've got to keep pressure on them all the time. You can't just pick and choose. I don't say we picked. Our choice today was to go as like we did. We didn't play bad football. They don't kick the last goal, we win. Everyone goes, well, you played a great game of football. It was a very tough game of football. And people are going to jump in. All the key indicators are at the end of the game, outside of the scoreboard, are in our favour. But as particularly the last quarter, they all fell away. More possessions to them. I don't know what the clearances were in the last quarter, but they were able to get far too much of the ball that we didn't allow them in the first half.
Their positional changes early back and Carlton ball, how significant?
No, I didn't see that being what Carlton kicked a goal. And Hurley, you couldn't ask Jarrod to keep running the same thing as he did in the first half. I mean that's ridiculous. So no, that wasn't the bearing. I thought they played individually well, but that wasn't the turning point. Waite still got the football, and I thought, what did Carlton kick a goal? We didn't use the ball anywhere near the way you can and should against a side like this. When you dominate the game in the passages we did, we still gave the ball back to them, even though it looked on the scoreboard okay, but it wasn't good enough. We needed to put them away early so that the end run is that they're trying to make up a lot of ground, not some ground.
If you look at the whole game,
yep.
It's saying to me like the first quarter is where you probably did the most because... First quarter might have been where you actually wasted the most opportunities given the balance of playing. Whereas the second quarter you got some of it, the first quarter you got...
No, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to explain when you've got a side that I guess we've been the worst we've done this year is 17 points. Okay. And we've played some pretty good football sides. What I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to learn is who can stand up when the pressure gets applied to play the right card at the right moment. And that's still an area where some do and then sometimes they don't. We're trying to we're trying to track our best 22 that can make the right decisions at the right time under that sort of pressure. And we'll get there. I thought the 22, they've all displayed they can. It's just that at the moment, we're just not running the whole 100 minutes of football.
They just said level as well.
Well, he took some very strong marks, and I think he's growing as a player. Oh, those boys did very well. Yeah. And you're looking at players that may not be first choice players. So, Keisha's been outstanding for us, really. I don't know whether he qualifies for the Rising Star. He may, I don't know what the criteria is, but he's been a very, very solid performer since he's come into the side. And Ed Curnow, I think, is growing with the job.
It seems an ongoing theme that there was a score review that wasn't given in the first quarter, I think, when Jeff Carlton.
Oh, it's amazing. Look, I don't know. If I stood here and bagged the umpires, you get fined. And on the other side of the coin, if I say how great they were today, they umpired a terrific game of football. And I'll take the punt that I won't get fined in saying that quality of umpiring today I thought was outstanding given the surface and allowed the game to be played with two good football sides going at each other. Now that decision you'd say, I don't know who calls that decision, but it's either a mark or a goal, the way I see it. It can't be a point. So I guess when you've got that availability, you should use it. But I'm loath to criticise after today's performance.
You're talking about, finding out who can stand up in those sort of circumstances. You're going to have a pretty good idea in another 3 games, 4.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
You feel you're well behind those teams, so you made progress in the last
We're a kick behind a couple, and we're probably 2 kicks behind others. But the better sides always have the capacity to kick those 2. And that's what we're going to do. If we're going to draw up inside that 8 and challenge for the top 4, which now, it becomes harder and harder when you've lost 5, haven't we? You've got to make inroads into the things that make those sides great top 4 sides. We're making some inroads, but the differential between the top 4 and the bottom 4 and the 8 over history has been quite marked by consistency. To be able to perform at that level long enough, not through the year, but long enough through a game. And that's what we have to do, is get better to perform at our best longer, because each game we've lost, every game we've lost, in fact, we've lost over a period of minutes at a quarter. It may well be 10 minutes in that first quarter. It may well be 10 minutes in the last quarter. But I can identify minutes in nearly every game that's cost us the game. And you always think that the sides think that it's hard luck and this sort of stuff. It's not hard luck. Simply you're playing a better side that know how to handle that situation better, more consistently, and over time. So we have to elevate ourselves to the point where we can identify those times and then get people to lead out on the ground and also to act appropriately to the occasion.
Do you look at what Anderson was in the set? Is that just execution, or did he make a decision to go short?
Well, I've got to see what was beyond that. I was looking elsewhere, quite honest, looking at how much the ground was covered.
Did some of the goals they seem to get a bit of space?
They got space, and that's something that we have to look at. Why they got, particularly 2 of the goals, but they got a lot of space.
Or is that a result of the way things play?
Well, maybe.
Is all this pressing up and there's a space?
Maybe. Yeah. Somewhere or another they got out the back, and I want to find out why.
Any last question?
Good.
Thanks.